Hello and welcome to Ready to React. I'm LR Reactor, and thank you for watching this episode of Ready to React. We got some interesting things we're going to discuss today, and I think you're going to find them very intriguing to say the least. But we're going to talk about a couple of things: the new DC slate, the new president of DC Films, the FlashPoint movie, and also up-and-coming projects of DC Universe. But let's get right into it and go into the new president of DC, and his name is Walter Hamada. Okay, I hope I'm saying that right, Walter Hamada. And he's the new president of DC Films, and I think they call him the DCFU now, which doesn't sound great, but that's DC for you again. Hopefully they don't go, but it is called DC Film. But a lot of people are saying DCFU. I guess it's appropriate to what we've been seeing lately. So he's going to be taking over, and I don't know much about this guy. I think he has some directing. I don't know if he had any directing experience, but he's been on projects before. But people are going to wait and see what he does and what direction he moves in. And judging by this new DC slate, we're going to get a determination of where he's going and what his thinking is like. Now, of course, the head guy, Kevin Huchihara, whatever his name is, he's the one that needs to go. I mean, he's the one that orchestrated probably a lot of the studio interference over the last three movies. A lot of what happened with Justice League not maybe releasing it later to give it more time to look better. Not that the look would have made it that much better of a movie, but it could at least got rid of the whole Lipgate thing with Superman, which, a lot of people said they didn't notice who weren't looking for it, but you could clearly see it. And he also mandated the 2-hour runtime, which I think hurt the movie more than anything else. Mandating it to 2 hours when clearly it needed another 15 to 20 minutes to tell the storyline, to go into Aquaman scenes, to go into the Alfred scene with the car to see who was that Superman actually landed there or not. We don't know. I think it was, but those kind of decisions and thinking, it's just a money thing for these people. And I understand that. It's all about money. Okay, these movies make millions and millions of dollars. In some cases, billions as far as Marvel. But the thing about Marvel from the DC heads is Marvel wants to make money as well, but they want to make sure their fans are satisfied. They want to put good shows out. And that's the one lesson that Kevin Feige learned back in his early days before there was a Marvel Studios. He was, involved with the Daredevil project, Ghost Rider, Blade. I believe he had a part in that. He was not a big executive, but he was on as a part of those things, and he learned the mistakes made in those films. Not that all of them were bad, but he learned the mistake and then started his new cinematic universe with Iron Man. And so this other guy, Walter Hamada, I don't know. Hopefully he learns quickly, and he made some changes. Let's go over the DC slate real quick and look at some of the things. So as reported online through various sites and blogs, the DC slate is going to be Aquaman coming up. Now Aquaman is already done, and Aquaman, we're going to talk about that in a minute, about the Aquaman movie a little bit, about what you think about it, about things with the Aquaman, where it could go and where it hopefully doesn't go. But Aquaman is already done. They starting production on Shazam, I think, next month. In a matter of, I think, 10 days, Shazam will be starting up. So that'll be going. In addition, Wonder Woman 2 is supposed to follow that. Then the Flashpoint movie. Man of Steel 2. Now, that's great to hear Man of Steel 2, because that's something that should have happened probably 2 or 3 years ago. But to have Man of Steel 2 finally coming out, great. Hopefully, they don't change that. And then a couple of things that I have an issue with. Birds of Prey is supposedly reported in Nightwing. Now, I love Nightwing, the character, and I even love the characters of Birds of Prey. When it comes to Batgirl anyway, Huntress, and Black Canary. But my biggest gripe always is, I understand, and this is the one thing that DC has that they never really took advantage of from the beginning, is they do not need to tell an origin story for any of their characters, really, because they're so well known. Marvel did not have the advantage of their characters being well known, besides Spider-Man, the Hulk, and maybe you could say Captain America. They did not have the advantage of that. So they had to do origin stories, tell a story. We've seen Superman movies done before, Superman TV shows. We've seen Batman movies done many times over, Batman TV show. We've seen Wonder Woman TV show, and Wonder Woman's been around since the 50s, 40s even. Green Lantern, we know who Green Lantern is. Most people do. Aquaman, most people know who Aquaman is. So they had the advantage of they really didn't need to tell an origin story. They could have went right into a movie. Here's Justice League and started right off and then do individual movies after that. That's how they could have done it. But that being said, they wanted to do origin story, so they did Man of Steel 2, which I liked quite a bit, by the way. Again, the whole Zack Snyder trilogy there was all his trilogy and how it looked and everything, the color tone and how the storyline went with that. He didn't write Man of Steel actually, so maybe that's why Man of Steel was the best of the 3 Zack Snyder movies. But he did direct it and directed it in a certain way. But that's fine. My issue is I don't think we should have any characters of the Batman family before we have a Batman movie. At least a Batman set in this universe. It don't have to be an origin story. Like, again, they don't waste our time with an origin story. We get it. His father and mom get killed in the alley. We've seen it hundreds of times. So let's just start off with a Batman, younger Batman, the Matt Reeves Batman that he's doing, the younger Batman, and start the story off. You want to do a little flashback? You certainly can. Spend like 5 minutes on that. Done. But we don't need an origin story with that. But I think the Batman is missing from the slate. And my understanding is Matt Reeves does not even have the whole story done yet, written. They're still working on it. So I don't understand why that should not be on the slate. I think it should have been Aquaman because you have no choice. Shazam, Wonder Woman, Man of Steel 2, the Batman or Batman. And then you can do Birds of Prey or Nightwing or any other Harley Quinn, Joker, if you want to go that route, down the road. Now, the great thing is that the Harley Quinn Joker movie is not on the slate right as of now. Suicide Squad 2 is not on the slate as of now. Let's see. What other ones did they throw out? Justice League Dark is not on the slate right now. And I'm not saying I don't want to see those movies. I do. But I'm saying I'm glad they pulled those off. So if that's Walter Hamada decision, he's already moving in the right direction, which is great. Put those things aside, okay? We got to get our core characters out and going before we do any more team-ups, before we do any side characters like Suicide Squad or any side groups like Justice League Dark. Let's get these things going first. So I think that's a good move and looking at the slate. Now, of course, they're not going to reboot. And they mentioned that, we'll talk about FlashPoint in a minute, that the Batman may be a soft reboot. I don't think so. I think the reboot will come in FlashPoint if they do it. But it is what it is now, okay? Unfortunately, I think what we're going to see is solo movies. And hopefully, and I don't know, because James Wan was shooting this while Justice League was being shot a little bit and while all these editing issues were still going on. I'm hoping James Wan made a self-contained movie with the knowledge that there are other heroes out there, but doesn't connect too much to Justice League or anything like that. So if he's able to make a self-contained movie like Wonder Woman, that's great. But the thing Wonder Woman had an advantage of is it was set in a period piece, so it couldn't connect. It connected DC Universe, but there was no other heroes to connect with, even though technically the Golden Age, I believe Golden Age or Silver Age heroes were still around. So you had Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Jay Garrett Flash, Spectre, even Dr. Fate was back in the Golden Silver Age, Hour Man, Dr. Midnight, Black Canary, Laura Lance, Black Canary, not Laura Lance, but Dana, whatever her name is, the one that's on Arrow now, her Black Canary, and Bobcat. So those heroes technically still around during the Wonder Woman time period, but they're not even mentioning them. So Wonder Woman worked because they didn't have to connect it. Hopefully Aquaman works because Aquaman we're just stuck with. And I got to tell you, I don't know about you guys out there, but I am not really excited for Aquaman. Now I'm going to see it, and I want it to be a good movie, but I'm not excited. And that's DC's fault because they've let me down with Justice League, which is supposed to be, in my opinion, the top grossing movie of all time. I thought it would be until Infinity War came out. Of course, Infinity War was going to beat it, but I thought it would overtake Avengers, and it didn't even sniff it. I mean, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle is beating Justice League. And you said that a year ago, people looked at you like, are you crazy? But it's beaten. So that tells you all you need to know about, Justice League, so to speak. Needs to be better. So Aquaman, I think, can be a good movie. It's gonna be interesting. The first aquatic kind of movie. What they're gonna do about the graphics and everything. But I have faith in James Wan, and I think they left him alone. I think so. And we should be hopefully get a Aquaman trailer soon. I would think in the next 40 days or so. And if I'm DC, I release that Aquaman trailer either the day of Infinity War or the day Black Panther comes out. Why not? Marvel's going to has screwed you guys in the past by releasing things on the day of your movies coming out. Why not? Aquaman's not highly anticipated as, the Marvel films are, but why not? Why not say, we're going to do the same thing, because Marvel did that to them, but we'll see. But I think we should get an Aquaman trailer soon, and hopefully that'll be wonderful and see a little glimpse of the Aquaman movie. So then we have Shazam. Shazam should be a fun, lighthearted, great movie. I think we're going to have, I think it'd be cool to pit another character, a cameo from Wonder Woman or a cameo from somebody in there, or a cameo post-credit scene of Black Adam. Hopefully, Walter Amada is working with the writers and directors and thinking about ways to do things. Because look, whether you like it or not, Marvel has done things the right way. Marvel has, they have done things correctly, which has been satisfying to film critics and satisfying to fans themselves. So they can learn from that. So you got Shazam. Wonder Woman 2 will be interesting. I really don't know what's going to take place in World War II in the 80s. I think if it takes place further back, it makes more sense, because if it took place in the 80s or 90s, we would have heard of Wonder Woman. And that's the one thing that they kind of retcon a little bit. Why haven't we heard of Wonder Woman or legends of this Amazon in other countries or wherever she's going to be at? So that's kind of, going to be interesting if they're going to place it in the back. If they're not, they place it currently in right now. I think that's the better way to go. Place it right now, right after Justice League, and just have her have her own adventure, and whoever they're going to include in it, Cheetah or Cersei or whoever. That's what I would do. Because otherwise, the question is, how the heck, if this takes place in World War II or in the 80s, did nobody know about her or even mention her before? So then we go into FlashPoint, which I'm going to touch FlashPoint in a minute, but FlashPoint, I think, is positioned correctly because of what I think they're going to do with FlashPoint, which we'll talk about in just a minute. Man of Steel 2, finally, okay, Henry Cavill gets to be the real Superman now. And we'll see where they go with either Brainiac. I think that's the way they're going to go with it. Who else could they go with? I mean, they already done Zod. They already done Doomsday. So Brainiac probably the best way to go, I would say, with the Superman movie. And they already ruined the death of Superman, which they could have made a whole series of movies off of that, but they screwed that up. So, oh well. And they could even have Darkseid, have Superman, not in Superman 2, but probably Superman 3. Or they could do a Superman 2, have Darkseid be the main villain, and it's a two-part thing where Superman 2 leads into Justice League 2 because he needs help to defeat Darkseid. So they can even do Darkseid, or even hint Darkseid a little more in the Man of Steel 2 movie. And then Birds of Prey, Nightwing, whatever. I don't know which way they're gonna go. I don't know who they're going to go against, because they haven't developed the universe enough with enough characters. And I'm hoping they do that a little more with some of these films. Give me some cameos, give me some mentions, give me some quick hits so we can see some of these other characters. When they pop up on the big screen, we've seen them, they've alluded to them, they've been mentioned in other DC movies. So that's what I'm hoping for, pretty much. I'm hoping that's the way it goes. Okay, so now we're getting into FlashPoint. Okay, so the Flash got new directors. The name is John Francis and Jonathan Goldstein. I guess they helped write Spider-Man: Homecoming, so that's I guess that's some credit and some credentials there. But they also did the Vacation movie. Now, I didn't mind Vacation. I thought it had some funny parts to it. It's never going to touch the classic Vacation movie Lampoon back in the day, but I thought it was okay. Some people said they hated it, so it had some funny parts. Excuse me. So, they're going to direct it now. There's been some concern. There's been some concern about these are comedy directors, and I understand that because the Flash is going to have a lot of comedy in it, and I'm mixed on it. I'm fine. I guess they made Flash going to be that way in the DCEU because of his way he acted Flashpoint. People love this little comedy he had. That's fine. But Flashpoint is a serious movie. It's not about too many jokes. So I hope they're not making it jokey at all. And then because they're comedy directors or producers, doesn't mean that this film's going to be jokey. I mean, the Russo brothers also did Park and Recs, I think. And so they can evolve and they can change. And that's just what they were doing at the time. So maybe these guys can do the same thing. And I hope they take this project really serious. Now, Flashpoint, I thought they could wait on it, but thinking about it more and more, I think this is exactly where it should go. So if you're doing Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, okay? Introduce those characters. You already introduced Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Tell their story a little more, go a little more depth, and bring Shazam in, okay? So now you have, for the next Justice League movie, you have everybody ready to go in. Shazam could join in with them if they're going to go that route. And then you do Flashpoint. So Flashpoint being there tells you two things, that these are going to be individual standalone movies, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Shazam. Okay? So they're not going to connect in any way. They're not going to lead to some greater plot point, I don't think. Not yet. And then they're going to use Flashpoint. Now, Flashpoint main antagonist basically is the Atlanteans fighting the Amazons. So they are going to have Wonder Woman 2 out, and they'll have Aquaman. So they'll kind of lead to that. Hopefully, they can kind of set that up a little bit of the Atlantean war. That, so you'll know about, it won't set the war up because the war takes place in an alternate universe that's created by Flashpoint. But at least they'll see both civilizations, how powerful they are. We already seen Themyscira, the Amazons. We've seen them in Justice League. But we can see the Atlanteans, a little more of the Atlanteans and their power and their army. So when Flashpoint takes place, you can understand how they both could destroy the world and take over. So we have those two people. But also in Flashpoint, the Batman's going to be in it. Jeffrey Dean Morgan probably will play Batman's father, so you have him. We have Cyborg already introduced. If they follow the animation part of it, we have Cyborg introduced already. And then you have an opportunity now to do a lot of side characters, and it won't hurt you because they're alternate versions of these side characters. So Shazam can also be in Flashpoint because he'll be introduced by then. So they have all the key ingredients to do a Flashpoint movie. They've already shown Deathstroke, so he's in there as well. They've already shown Luthor. So they have all the people together, and then they can show the side characters that appear in Flashpoint. So Flashpoint can work. And I think Flashpoint will be used to reset the universe in a way that I don't know if people think, it's going to be a new Batman. I think the new Batman should just appear in Flashpoint. Whoever it's going to be, if it's going to be Jake Gyllenhaal, who I think is too old to play it. I mean, if you want Batman to be around for 20 years or 15 years or even 10 years, I think you should go with a younger Batman. But, they've already screwed up with Ben Affleck, which by the way, Ben, thank you. Can people stop? Just go. DC, he's on contract to do one more film. DC, just don't have to do one more film. He's done. It's already confusing enough. Just let him go. He doesn't want to be here anymore, and that's fine. That's fine. So whoever they're going to get the new Batman, bring him in and have Jake Gyllenhaal, whoever. Excuse me. Allergies a little bit. Bring him in and start with that Batman in Flashpoint. So in Flashpoint, I don't think they're going to do the whole Flash Museum thing, which would be cool as hell if they did that. And I would, thinking about it, wow, that would be cool because that's a great way, DC animation, they get it. But that would be a great way to show all of Flash's roles at once. If they did it with the Flash Museum, let's say this takes place 5 years past Justice League. And they had all the rogues, and then you have all, the Justice League members come down, they show them all, and you can show all the new members. I don't know if they're going to do that, but they could bring everybody in, just like the animation, and do that whole scene, okay? And then you break off, and then the new Batman's there, and then you basically showing Jeffrey Dean Morgan, the Batman's father, for the whole rest of the movie until the end when they show Batman again. But they have all the pieces together to do Flashpoint correctly, and I hope they do it correctly. Follow the animation; it works. And they probably twist a couple things up a little bit, but they definitely could do that. Now, Flashpoint, I think if DC is smart, they will use it much like X-Men Days of Future Past was used to erase and reset their universe. So they erased X-Men 3. X-Men 2 was kind of erased as well. And X-Men 1 was kind of reset. So they reset everything and started off with Days of Future Past. And then they started off with a whole new X-Men universe, so to speak, new characters and everything. It worked. It worked well. So the question is, if does Flashpoint happen, and does it erase the whole Zack Snyder trilogy universe? Does it erase Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League? It never happened. And then it sets it back in present day, and all of a sudden you have Superman. We don't know if how his story took place. Did General Zod even land? So they could say General Zod never came to Earth. They could redo him in the future. They could say Doomsday never happened. They could redo him in the future. That could be a great idea. So DC, Warner Brothers, whoever is watching this video, hopefully a lot of people are watching this video, and more to come. But whatever they decide to do, think about that. Use Flashpoint to erase the past 3 movies. The Snyderverse exists on its own and is no part of the DCEFU. And we start with Flashpoint, and everybody's set. We got the right Batman in the right tone. We got the right Superman in the right tone. We have Wonder Woman who's perfect to keep her where she is so she doesn't change. And then we go forward. That's great. It can work, DC. You can save this thing. Since you don't want to reboot, and even though I think you should, I get it. You don't want to lose Henry Cavill. You don't want to lose Wonder Woman. They're great people. You just got the cyborg character. I like him. Ray Fisher playing him. Ezra Miller, that's fine. I could care less if they redid him or not. You have no problem with them. I have no problem for him or against them. You want to keep him, that's fine. But damn it, change the suit. Will you please give him a different kind of suit? Anyway, we never get the Flash ring with that mechanical suit. This isn't Injustice. Anyway, so I think they could do it. And so I think this could be DC's. Make a good Aquaman movie, make a good Shazam movie, make a good Wonder Woman movie. Standalone individuals connecting a little bit. And then you go into Flashpoint. Now, Flashpoint, as I said before, you have a great way to show some alternate characters. But one guy who should be in Flashpoint that's not in animation is Dr. Fate. I think Dr. Fate should be the one when Barry decides to go back in time to change his mother's death. They should have Dr. Fate appear in front of him and tell him that what he's embarking on could change the fates of millions and of the whole universe, and recommend that he doesn't do it. And of course he doesn't listen, does it anyway. But a little cameo of Dr. Fate right there before Barry goes back and changes time will be fantastic. Not only do you bring Dr. Fate into the universe, but it fits perfectly. Stuff like that would be fantastic if they brought Dr. Fate in that way. So DC, think about that. I was like listening. Think about doing that. That would be great. And that's the one thing I want to see more out of DC movies. I want to see little hints, little cameos, little post-credit scenes of other heroes so we can start building this universe up before you go into Suicide Squad or Justice League Dark or Birds of Prey or anything like that. Build this up a little bit. Let's keep going, Show Green Arrow in Shazam or something. Or I don't know who, give me a glimpse of Green Lantern and Wonder Woman, whatever. Just give me a clip or some mention or something so we know it exists. We can build it up. You got a second chance, DC, to do something right. We can let it go and move forward, but you got to do it the right way. And I'm hoping this Walter Hamada moves in that direction. I really do. Now, a couple of things that I think we should talk about also is the Aquaman movie a little more in detail. So Aquaman, does it matter to you? Does Aquaman matter to you? And definitely, as I got to mention, please send your comments below in the comments section. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to get all my videos. And love to have you watch. And in case you haven't seen any of my shows before, I'm down in Studio B here, which is my basement. So if any noise you hear is from upstairs, kids running around. But I also wear my steampunk glasses. People email me and not FaceTime me, but send me Facebook messages saying, why do you wear those glasses? Well, I wear them because it's really bright in the studio. I got a lot of light shooting at me, and I would squint some if I didn't have them on. So I use them for really to protect the glare for coming at me and stuff. And I know you guys can see some of the images in my glasses, but it's to protect the glare, so that's why I wear them. But I think they look cool. Yeah, you know. And if you saw me at a Comic-Con or anything, you'd recognize me, wouldn't you? So remember that. So Aquaman, I think it could be an important movie. I think Aquaman will be great. It's not going to gross a lot of money, but it's a great movie just to have as a movie, standalone. We're going to talk about Aquaman only. And that's it. We're going to talk about Wonder Woman only. That's it. Just like they did, they did the same thing. So let's focus on Aquaman, get a good Aquaman movie. Hopefully they'll have all the characters of the Aquaman universe in there to set up future Aquaman shows. Jason Momoa, I think, does a great job of Aquaman. Again, I'll go to my grave saying this. He should have been definitely just portrayed to be Lobo. I mean, take a picture of Lobo and Jason Momoa and put them side by side. That dude was made to play, Lobo. Made to play him. I mean, you wouldn't even need that much makeup, but made to play the guy. But anyway, they moved on. But, so he's Aquaman. So that's fine. So I just think that, with a lot of what DC's doing, it could work. It could be successful. And I think they could be on the right path. And even though you have to wait, 9 months for Aquaman, hearing what's coming in the future really sounds good. I think the slate's cleaned up now. Hopefully they stick to it. Stick to the slate, find the right directors, and go forward and build this thing up. And build your individual movies and leave little Easter eggs. You can thread these movies together, not so much in the movies, but by post-credit scenes. Each movie could have a post-credit scene that they all connect. All the post-credit scenes lead to something. They don't have to be the movies themselves, but the post-credit scenes can lead to something and build a conflict up for Justice League 2, hopefully, and hopefully that works out well. So that's pretty much it on the cinematic movie front. So now we're going to go into DC TV. And why the DC TV cinematic universe is working so much better than the movie cinematic universe. So TV, we got, it started off, 6 years ago with Arrow. Five or 6 years ago with Arrow. Then they put an Easter egg in with a Barry Allen coming to investigate a murder, and they weaved them in. Cinematic universe could follow this thread the same way. Then from Flash, we get into Legends of Tomorrow. And then into Supergirl. Then we go into Legends of Tomorrow. And you see all these are all cinematically, as far as these shows, all connect. Now they connected them by saying they're on different Earths, but they all connect. But they built the characters up first and slowly weave the question of this person or a name mentioned here, or Arrow recently dropped the name of Bruce Wayne. You're aware, hey, this person exists. This person's around. That's all you have to do. And then, of course, you bring Legends of Tomorrow, which I love Legends of Tomorrow. Not so much that it's a corny superhero show, and it's okay. But I get to see heroes that are third. It's a great way to show their second and third level heroes on TV. And it doesn't infringe. And, they do team-ups because one of them couldn't hold a show themselves. White Canary couldn't do it by themselves. Vixen could, and we might see a Vixen show down the road. But Citizen Steel, Kid Flash, those people. So let's pit all these second and third level characters into their own show together in a group, and let them go through time so we can introduce other characters. And that's the great thing, a wonderful thing about Legend of Tomorrow, because we can go through time and say we can see the Silver Age, Golden Age. We can say this person exists, and they're really able to tap into all of the DC universe, which I love. Now, Supergirl also taps into other heroes, Arrow as well, and so does the Flash. So that's their TV cinematic universe has worked fantastic, and they do a great job. And I think that the movie universe could learn a lot about what they've done here. Mentioning certain people, like in Arrow, they mentioned Cord Industries, but we haven't seen Blue Beetle yet. But Cord Industries is mentioned, so we know, Cord Industry exists in the universe. I mean, the Blue Beetle exists. He's out there running around. They mention all of these things, so it gives you hope and feeling that, hey, this person is around, whatever. So, and then on top of that, we have another on the DC streaming service. We have Titans coming out, and Titans going to have Starfire, Beast Boy, Raven, Nightwing, or Robin to begin with, maybe transforming into Nightwing down the road. And then on top of that, I think they have Nighthawk and Dove are going to be in there, who originally aren't members, but they're going to be in there. So that's great. Now, who knows what other heroes they're going to be able to show? Second, third level heroes, they'll be able to make appearances on that show, along with the villains they'll be able to show. So Deathstroke, perhaps, Brother Blood, Chemo, Dr. Light, all these kind of characters, the Hive, Queen Bee, all these people that we've seen could show up here, which is fantastic, So again, the DC cinematic universe is doing a fantastic job, and now what they're doing, a streaming service now, on sometime this year is supposed to launch. They don't need Netflix to do it; they're gonna have their own, and hopefully we'll see. Young Justice is gonna be on there. I think it's gonna be on there, or unless they're releasing it on Netflix. But DC Animation is doing a great job. It's funny how Marvel cannot get their animation correct, but DC can. But Marvel got their cinematic universe correct, and DC struggling there. It's flip-flopping, It's hard to say why that is, but, they both have their strengths and weaknesses, I guess, so to speak. But I'm really excited. Love watching DC TV, and I understand that when I watch it, it's a TV universe. But I will say this. That crossover they had, Crisis on Infinite Earths, or on Earth X anyway, that team up was better than Justice League, the movie. Watching that, it was basically an hour an episode, 4 episodes. That was more satisfying what I got out of that than I got out of Justice League. And again, I like Justice League. I just hate it that when you have such rich material and you see what Marvel's doing, you say DC should have that. You have the characters to do it. And when they come up short time and time again, and it really upsets you so much. And we know that, unfortunately, the news was out that we're not going to get an extended cut on the Blu-ray, the Snyder cut. And they say, oh, it doesn't exist. It exists because the DC executives saw it, and that's why they decided to make some changes. They said, hey, this is not good, or it's too dark. We want to be more funny or whatever, and they made changes. So the Snyder cut exists, and even the Snyder cut did exist, but we know it does. Showed us what Josh Whedon, the 30 minutes he cut out by order of the head of DC. So why don't they put that on the Blu-ray at least? I mean, we might get it down the road. They might release another Blu-ray with the Josh Whedon cut, and the Zack Snyder cut, I don't think we'll ever see it. I think people will really want to see it. I think they can make, they say, oh, well, we can't make any money really off of that. You know what? Release it. Re-release it in the theaters. Re-release it 2 weeks before Aquaman, although it might give everybody a bad taste to see Aquaman. Maybe that's not a good idea. But release it on Blu-ray. So you get your Blu-ray sales all set with Justice League when it releases. And then re-release it with the Josh Whedon 30-minute extended cut. And then maybe 2 years down the road, you release it with the Zack Snyder cut. But I think the longer you wait, the worse it is, because they want to get further and further away from that universe. So I release it in this whole next year, 2018 coming. Release all 3 versions, because we all want to see it. We want to see the finished product of Zack Snyder. Maybe it won't be that great, but we want to see these scenes of Darkseid, Superman in the black suit, Green Lantern Corps. Some of the things that were missing in the trailer, we saw in the trailer that we didn't see. So DC, that's what you should do, and not to make money so much. You'll make some money, and I know that's money is the name of the game. But as a apology to your fans, hey, we're sorry. We didn't get this thing together right. We're gonna fix it, but we're gonna release what we have because you've been wanting to see it, and we do want to see it. So, we understand that the direction they're moving now is a positive direction, much better direction, but they better get it right this next time. They better get it right, because it's not. They won't get a second chance. They'll have to reboot the whole thing, but you can do it. But they gotta hurry up, because Marvel just acquired the X-Men. They just acquired Fantastic Four, and Phase 4 is going to be out of this world. And Marvel will continue to knock it out the park. And I am a Marvel fan as well as a DC fan. I want to see them both do well. out there, and I really just want to see good movies, things that I grew up reading comic books, watching shows in my childhood. I want to see these things done correctly, and Marvel has been very satisfying in providing me with seeing these heroes, things I grew up with, brought to the live screen in a storytelling mode that's been amazing. And DC, you can do that too. You can be that same thing. You know, mistakes happen. People learn from them. Hopefully they learn from them and they can move on, go forward. Again, I love this new slate. I think it's the right direction. I see some things taken away. I see some things added in the right order, I think. And if they do what I think they're going to do with FlashPoint, I think we're going to be in good hands. So to all the DC fans out there, rejoice, stay strong, believe, and hopefully we believe. But if they come out 6 months later, or Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con with their panel, and they change the slate again, oh my goodness, I'm just going to be like, come on, man. Get it right, please. You got it good now, but we'll see what happens. And hopefully they can reignite the passion in the general crowd. I mean, for us, if you're watching this show, you're probably a sweaty or someone who loves this kind of the comic book genre. They have us. We're going to go see the movies, but they got to win back the general public. They got to win back the general public to see these movies, that DC is back, that there's a new DC, and because that's how they're going to cross, the $1 billion mark. Hopefully one day one of their films. So we'll see how that happens. But anyway, again, leave your comments below in the comments section. Tell me what you think about the Flashpoint, maybe erasing the past 3 Zack Snyder verse movies and resetting it just as it is now in the present day with the correct characters, the correct tone. Hit me up on Facebook and on Twitter. I'd like to hear what you think about that. Thank you again for watching Ready to React. I'm LR Reactor. I'll be back for another video down the road. Until then, thank you and have a great day.